Page 14, distant bells. On the previous couple pages, they're introducing you to the pedals on the piano. A piano can have anywhere from 1 to 4 pedals. If you have an electronic piano, you probably have 1 pedal. And if that's the pedal we're talking about here. Most pianos have 3 pedals. The left pedal in that case is what they call a soft pedal or unicorda pedal. We'll get to that later. The middle pedal, depending on the brand and the type of piano you have, it might be what's known as a sostenuto pedal. We'll get to that later, much later. Or it could be a practice pedal, which is you push it down and push it off to the side or wherever, get it to lock down so it stays down. And it makes the piano go real soft so you can practice and it won't drive everybody nuts. That's a practice pedal. Some pianos only have 2 pedals, and if that's the case, the middle pedal's not there. It's the left and right pedal you have. Some pianos have 4 pedals, and the 4th pedal is really very rare. I've actually never seen it. I've only heard about it. I don't even remember what it does. Don't care what it does. Don't need it. Right now, we're going to talk about the right pedal. The right hand pedal. If you have multiple pedals, if you have 1 pedal, that's the pedal. It's called the damper pedal or sustaining pedal or loud pedal, or it has a number of names. I don't like the term loud. We'll get to that later. And on pages 12 and 13 they're explaining that, and you can read all about it. But the symbol they're using in this book is the most common symbol used in most publishers. Not all, there's other symbols for it, telling you when to push the pedal down and when to lift it up. Well, on page 12 you see it down toward the bottom. It's in the middle. You see that line going across. The line going down is when you push the pedal down, and the line going across means you hold it down, and then when the line comes up you can let the pedal up. That's typical. I mean, it's straightforward. If you look on page 13, about 2/3 of the way down, you'll see multiple notes, each with that pedal marking. Well, here I'm going to adjust that just a little bit because that's not really used too much. If that pedal marking is used in music, it usually indicates there should be some silence between the notes. Is how it's used. They're doing it here to explain what they call syncopated pedaling, which is also known as overlap pedaling or smooth pedaling or legato pedaling and blah blah blah. It's got all kinds of names. It's the most common type of pedaling used, and it's the one I teach the most. It was the one I was taught the most, and we will talk about that a great deal. In the sample, each of these lines going up is a separate line, and in most music they actually connect those together and put a little pulse between them. You'll see that a little later on, I think, is when you see the line going across and there's a little arrow up, and the line is actually a solid line. It's just got that little, looks like a heartbeat monitor pulse something or whatever in it. That's an indication to lift the pedal up and put it right back down. That's connection. So let's talk about page 14. First off, this is in the key of C major. No sharps or flats, except for some accidentals that are in there. It's a common time, or 4/4 time. In the right hand, we have a lot of these broken chords going on. And I'm just rotating my arm here on these chords. I'm not trying to use the fingers to do this, I'm just rotating. Till you get down to the 3rd line last measure, then it's this pattern. You're not in a nice neat 5-finger position. You're moving around a little bit. You just, whatever the note is, whatever finger you need, you just move there. Page 15, 1st line last measure. Look at this. 1 2 1. Just have to very slowly and carefully get the notes first, and then you can go back and get the rhythm, which is just a 1 and 2 and 3 and etc. Because it's 4/4 time. These are 8th notes. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I like the fingering for the first measure, the 2nd line there on page 15, because it's 3 4 3 2. I like using different fingers on repeated notes. I like that very much. I recommend that. You want to get to where you can do that without looking at the keyboard. And that's pretty much it for the right hand, no big deal. Fun stuff's in the left hand. It's moving around. You're going to have to look at the keyboard for this one. Because right at the beginning on page 14, it's a C here. And then immediately they put in a treble clef. And that makes it a high C up here. Well, your right hand's here. So you got to go from here to here. You're crossing over. And then the next measure, you're here. And then the next measure, it's here. See, it's going back and forth. This is great. Oh boy. And it goes on there until you get over to the top of page 15, the last measure. And then finally, it settles down. And the first measure, the second line, that is a quarter note. Only hold it down for one count. So it's here. When the right hand plays that second G, lift up the left hand. And then it goes back to doing its nonsense it was doing until you get to the end. Very last measure in the left hand, you're here. And the last note, you need to know that note. Just remember it. It's 2 ledger lines above the treble clef. It is a C, way up there. Isn't that fun? Oh boy. But that's pretty much it. There's just not a lot. You don't have a lot of time going from the half note in the left hand to the next note. So you just hold on to the half note as long as you can. The pedal will help keep it going, but make sure you get down to that note, the next note, in time to play it in time. So that may take some practice. Keep the right hand soft through all this. It's the left hand, the bells. We want to hear. This all has to be in the background. Till you get over to top of page 15 and the last measure, the first line when you did that. There you can bring that out a little bit. That's coming. The right hand goes back to being really soft and background for the rest of it. Now, let's talk about this pedal. The problem with all publishers that I've found so far, and most method books, some of them get it right, most are wrong, is on the pedal indication when the line goes up or down, that is not exactly placed where it needs to be. They're not very accurate with it. You're supposed to know when to do it. They're giving you an idea of approximately where it happens, and you're supposed to know exactly when to do it. Well, that's where a teacher comes in. So at the beginning of this, I'm going to push the notes down first and then push the pedal down immediately after. The reason for that is because I want to start the sound first with just these notes, and then I'm going to release all the dampers so I can let all the other vibrations go. So we start gentle and then release it. So pedal comes down after the notes. And then the next measure, rather than doing it the way they're saying, because if I do it the way they're saying, I'm going to lift up at the end of the measure before I play the next measure. And this is what I get. I'll do the first line like their pedaling indication. This is what I get. There's a little bit of silence between each measure. That's what's indicated. What I'm suggesting is we do the overlap pedaling, or the syncopated pedaling as they call it, which would be the little pulse thing. So the line would go over, and at the end of at the measure bar, it would be a little pulse there, and that would tell you up and down. And you make that up and down motion after you play the notes in the next measure, so it lags, it's syncopated. So the pedal and the hands are not exactly at the same time. The pedal follows the hands. So it's this way. So it's always sound. And that overlapping pedal or the syncopated pedal ensures there's always sound. It's a more forgiving pedaling technique than most of the other. There are other techniques, and we'll learn those eventually, but this is really a wonderful one to use. I highly recommend it. And that's what I suggest you do in this book, is you use the overlapping pedal, except in a few places where I'm going to point out where it'd be nice to have a little silence here. Now, as far as the silence goes, go down on page 14 on the third line, the last two measures. These measures, you have a quarter rest. Let the pedal come up with the hands so we hear a 1 beat rest before you go on. And then in the next measure, you're going to push the notes down first, then the pedal. So it's here. Rest. Then that takes us over to page 15. Last measure of the first line, you have this. A lot of methods book do this, and I have to change it. I say, no, I want to change the pedaling. I don't like a lot of blurriness. I like a clean sound. And this last measure, the first line, if I hold the pedal down for the whole measure, it's this. Yeah. So I'm going to recommend we clean it up a little bit. Technically, you don't even need pedal on that measure. But we can go ahead and try pedal, but I'm going to suggest you change the pedal with the half notes in the left hand. So right after you play the first beat, you put the pedal down, and then right after we play the third beat, we change the pedal. Changing the pedal means lift it up and put it back down. And that clears out some of the mushiness. It's still not great, but that's better than nothing. So it would be this way. And then lift the pedal after you play the notes in the next measure. No pedal there, and then it continue on with the overlap or syncopated pedaling to the very end, the last measure. And the pedal and the hands all come up at the same time on beat 4. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and like so. That's this piece. Now you can do the dynamics. It starts out soft, and by soft we're referring to what would be the melody. In this case it's the left hand. That is soft. So the right hand has to be really soft. Etc. The speed is andante. I think that's about as fast as I was going. It's just a nice leisurely pace. Now when you get down to the third line on page 14, the last measure, now you're coming up to a sort of loud here. And you're going to stay there until you get over to page 15, second line, and the first measure you have a decrescendo, that arrow. So you're going to you're going to get it softer, and then you're back to where you were at the beginning. Then in the last line, there's a diminuendo at the beginning of the line and a poco ritardando in the last measure. Well, if you're already soft, you can't get there's not a lot of room to get softer. So if you would like to start the last line a little bit louder, and then each measure just gets softer, and the last measure, really soft and slow. You're slowing down, and then everything comes up. You're just kind of almost fading away, not quite. It's cool. Let's try this really slowly to check the notes and the rhythms if we can. I'll give us 4 counts. We'll play it together. So your right hand's here, left hand's here to start. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Rest. 4 in. 3 and 4 in. 4 in. 4 in. 4 in. 4 in.